after. Oh, it's so nice to see you. And Rubik's, welcome to 101. So give me some emojis today, guys, if you have been in Altspace for less than 3 days. Who's been in less than 3 days? Hello, Ariel, our woman in purple. How are you today? Nice to see you. Okay, so sorry, I asked you to throw up emojis and then wasn't looking at you. Sorry, I put my menu up. So how many people have been in for less than 3 days? Anybody? Yeah? Yes, if you re-enter, you. Okay, how many people can't see slides behind me? Give me emojis if you cannot see slides. Okay, do you want to do a quick, did re-enter work for you, Diamond? Okay, I'll tell you if re-enter will work in a sec. Oh, you guys had the wrong slide deck up, and I didn't realize that the wrong slide deck was up, so I apologize. Did that help? Diamond?
No, it didn't help me either.
Okay, I'm going to do a quick room reset. Sorry if that.
There they are.
Okay, can everybody see slides now?
Perfect.
Yes.
Yes? Okay, camera bots, did I totally mess you guys up? Excuse me?
No, it looks great, Donna. Thank you.
Yeah, are you guys okay? Okay, so it's 3 minutes after. We're going to get started. I am so sorry about the slides. I have a few events happening today, and I accidentally put the slides up for the wrong event. So this one will be much more helpful. Hello, and welcome to 101. I've had the chance to talk with a couple of you, but most of you I don't know, and it's great to have you here today. So the first thing I want to talk about is the fact that when you come to an event in Altspace, do you see, we hear noises in the background right now. We hear people, dogs, or pets, appliances. We hear all sorts of things in our day-to-day lives that we just get used to. But we come into Altspace, mics are really sensitive, and we hear some background noise sometimes. So I'm going to do something. You all just got a message. Now, can you hear that? Silence. You guys just got a message to say that you were muted. When you're at an Altspace event, please, and you see that message, please don't take it personally. It just means that everyone in the room just got muted to help people hear a presentation better. Now, we know that if you go to the circle menu down to the bottom left and you click on that happy face, it brings up a circle of emojis, right? So even though we don't have our physical voices, we can still tell people how we feel, right? We could say we love something if we clap for someone good. If we're happy and we want to show it, there's a happy face. Now, high five. This used to be how we ask questions. Now it's just a hand, glorified high five sign. But remember, there's so much great music here in Altspace. So if you're on a dance floor, make sure you exit yourself on the dance floor. And no, you can't see your own high five. You can only see other people's. Now, somebody told a good joke. What are you going to do? You're going to laugh, of course, right? Now, we hope you're never singing the blues in Altspace, but if you are, there's even an emoji for you, okay? So that, I want to get one other housekeeping thing out of the way, and that's this. It is not if you're going to have a problem in Altspace, you guys, it's when. I guarantee you're going to have a problem. The most common one tends to be audio. So I'll be talking and all of a sudden, and you grab a word or two, but somebody will just sound distorted. So what do? Altspace understood that we would have little glitches. And so they gave us a couple of tools that we can use ourselves before we have to reach out for help from someone else, okay? So if you open that circle menu with the white triangle, if you click that, it opens up the menu for Altspace. Now, Altspace is upside down in a whole bunch of ways. And the first one is their menu options are along the bottom. So if you go along the bottom and you pick settings, this is what you see, the screen, the slide that you have in front of you. And right in the middle, it says re-enter. Please don't do this now, but later test it and notice that it'll take about 10 or 12 seconds. You'll go gray or black depending on the device you're in. And then you'll come back into the room where you are, whether it's a world or event or whatever, you'll just go back. But what you will go is you'll land on the spawn point. Okay, so a spawn point is just a landing place within a world or event. Some have one, some have two or three. Now, when you land in on a spawn point, please just move left, right, back, or forward. Just get off the spawn point so the next person who comes into the room will they'll land on that same spot. Okay, now once you've done a re-enter, the chances that your audio are fixed is really good. That one, re-enter almost always fixes audio. But in case it doesn't, or you're having a different problem, do you notice down in the bottom left, you see an exit Altspace? It's a red sign at the bottom left. We're still in settings. So if you take that, it will take you right out of Altspace. You'll have to come back in, navigate back to whatever world or event you were at. But a lot of times that one fixes things that the re-enter will not do. Okay, so now that I've got the housekeeping thing out of the way, now I get to officially welcome you to Altspace VR. And I've got a couple friends here today. I just want to point them out. Diamond is in one corner and she's going to give you hearts. And Ian is in the other corner and he's going to give you hearts. And then over on the stairway is the woman in purple, as we like to call her. That's Ariel. Okay, I want you guys all to help me out. And I want you guys to show some love because they came on a Saturday afternoon to volunteer their time with us, okay? So on behalf of all four of us, can I just say, welcome to Altspace VR. Now, my guess is that when you found Altspace VR in the game section of whatever app, wherever you downloaded it from, right? My guess is you found it in the game section. And Altspace, it's not that we don't play games here. It's not that we don't have fun. We have a lot of fun here. But those of us that have been here for a while, we don't think about it as a game. We think about it as a community. So when you created your user account, you joined our community, and we are beyond thrilled about that, you guys. We're so excited to have you here. Now, when you created your user account, there was two things you agreed to, and now while I'm talking, I have to say that I do these a lot, and I forget if I actually said this. We're being filmed today. Did I say that already? Can you give me emojis if I said that already? That we're being filmed today? So anybody that, the only people that will be directly on camera is if you ask a question later on. I can't remember if I said that or not, but just get that out of the way. Okay, so getting back to our user accounts. When you created your user account, you actually agreed you were 13 or older. Now, I just want to tell you, this is not to diss on 12-year-old or younger. This is to say that Altspace is a social VR app. The reason you found the app in the game section is social VR is such a new category. There isn't even a category like that in stores yet. So you find it in the game section, but it's really an adult social VR app. Now, social VR, you're not early adopters to social VR, you're actually pioneers. This is such a new area. So around the world, they're figuring out policy about surrounding social VR apps. And one of the things they're considering is what is an age-appropriate age to come into Altspace. So there's a lot of people that are starting to rest on the age of 13. So can I just tell you, if you're 13, 14, 15, I hope you understand that you're invited into an adult app because Microsoft owns Altspace, and Microsoft and Altspace believe that you're old enough to help us keep you safe. Because before fun, before anything in Altspace, safety comes first. That's it. Safety comes first. And it's really important to us that everybody's safe. I would love to say that every adult that comes into Altspace is a nice person. But you know what? We live in the real world, and that's just not a fact. You guys can help identify things that don't feel right. 12-year-olds and under can't. They are not safe here. So if you have cousins, brothers, sisters, kids, whatever that are 12 and under, please don't let them come in here. Please don't let them create an account. Please do not let them actually take your headset. Okay. Now, the other thing you agree to is community standards. And you know what? There is nothing unique about it. I don't know if you read them. I know I didn't when I started Altspace. But here's the deal. If something's cool in the real world, it's cool here. If something's not cool in the real world, it's probably not cool here either. So an example that my friends that are in the room have heard, and if you've come to a 101, you've heard it before, but it's the best one I could think of. If you're in a mall, and somebody comes through the front doors and they start body slamming every person that they meet. Not cool, right? They would get in trouble, in serious trouble. They would hurt people physically, emotionally. It's just not cool to do that. And you know what? Here in Altspace, I call it just a different coffee shop. But behind every avatar is a real person just like you. And when you take your avatar and maliciously go through or see people going through other avatars just on purpose, just for fun, just for giggles, you guys, that's the same as body slamming someone in the real world. And it's just not cool. And the other thing I'm going to tell you is just straight out, it is not appropriate to touch anyone in public ever. It's just not appropriate. You wouldn't do it at the mall. You wouldn't do it at church or at school. You would get in trouble. And the same thing is here. So getting back to your username, we're excited you decided to join this community. And our community ends up being what all of us contribute, right? There's people from over 160 countries here in Altspace. Do you know how many different cultures that is that you get the opportunity to get to learn about, different languages, different perspectives? You guys are going to have the most amazing opportunities to learn and become friends with other people. So we hope you embrace that diversity. We hope that that you will help us keep this a caring, a safe, a tolerant place, and we want you guys to have fun and bring your friends that are 13 and older. So the one word behind everything I just said is respect. Respect the people around you, and they'll respect you. Now, making friends. I don't know if you guys have made a lot of friends yet or not. Some of you may be new, and so it might be a new thing. But making friends is one of the greatest things in Altspace, where you connect with people that have the same kind of passions, they enjoy the same kinds of things, and you can have discussions and enjoy events together. So I'm going to talk about 4 name badges today, where the rim around the color around the rim means something. The first one is admin. Now, if you yourself create an event here in Altspace, you are the admin of your own event. Okay, so gold rims, you'll see them all through Altspace. But the only one I'm talking about is in the campfire. When you re-enter and your problem doesn't get solved, when you exit Altspace and come back in and you still have a problem, this is what you're going to do. You're going to head to the campfire. The only position that is a paid position in Altspace is the person who is the position of the admin in the campfire. Those people work for Altspace, and 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, somebody from Altspace is in the campfire. So you can go and ask them questions, okay? So they are the only ones that are paid throughout the whole community. Now notice in the top left-hand corner is an icon, and you'll see it's like an A. The reason that's there is because there is people in the world that aren't able to distinguish color, right? My own father can't. When he goes shopping and buys new pants and tops, my mom has to put outfits together because he literally cannot tell the difference between any colors. And some of you might be like that too. So don't worry. You don't have to know the color of the rim. The icon in the top left-hand corner tells you what the badge is, okay? Now, the next thing I want to talk about is volunteering. Volunteering is seriously one of the best ways to learn new skills, get to know people, get to know the lay of the land in Altspace. So what I always suggest is if you want to volunteer, hit up events that you love. Go to those events, meet people, get to know the helpers in the event, get to know the event host. We're all just regular people, just like you, and then ask if you can help. And a lot of times they will need help and let you help. Now, there's a group of volunteers here in Altspace that have decided they would like to be community helpers, and that's the badge color I'm going to talk about. To be a community helper, you have to meet a set of criteria. You have to fill out an application and you have to be approved. Now, there's a couple of things about the criteria. You have to have been in Altspace for a minimum of 3 months and you have to have volunteered. That's why I brought that up. So if any of you are interested in being a community helper, have a green badge with a little heart, a little heart in the top left-hand corner, make sure you start with volunteering, okay? And then ask other community helpers, approach them and ask them what comes next, and make sure you'll see them in worlds and events all over the place. And so get to know them. Now, friends. 2 badge colors that have to do with friends. If you're friends with somebody already, it's blue with an F in the top left-hand corner. If you're not friends with someone, it'll be black. There'll be a plus sign in the middle of the badge, and you can send that person a friend request. So 2 things about friend requests. The first one, please be patient. Not everybody checks friend requests right away, so be patient if somebody doesn't take it right away. The second thing is that and just along with that, actually, the first one is some people that are new don't actually even know how to accept a friend request. So it is possible you send somebody one and they'll accept it, but they don't know how, okay? And the second one is, I don't know about you, if this will happen to you or not, but it's happened to me that I've sent a friend request to someone and they didn't accept it. Let that roll off your back. You're going to have lots of friends here at Altspace, okay? Now, remember I said safety first. Safety is so important. And Altspace has given us 3 things that help us keep ourselves safe, control our own experience here in Altspace, okay? So the first one is to block. Now, you guys may have tested this out already, but here's the deal. You are a member of our community, and that means you have a right to block any person in this community that you want. Okay, you have, when you're interacting with people, if you're being harassed in any way, if someone's making you feel uncomfortable, if somebody's bullying you, if somebody won't stop swearing at you, maybe there's somebody you really, really don't like, you know what? You get to block that person. Now, as soon as you click the block icon on their name tag, what will happen is that a box will come up. So you can block anyone you want, but what I want you to do is be honest about why you did it. Okay, it doesn't matter why you did it. Just if it was because of bullying, if it was because they were harassing you, if you just don't like them, just say that on the form that comes up. Altspace admins read those, and if somebody is doing repeatedly bad behavior, Altspace doesn't know it unless you guys let them know. Okay, so once you've done that, you won't hear or see them anymore. They won't hear or see you, and hopefully you feel safer and more comfortable in Altspace. Now, let's say a bunch of you are hanging out in the world and somebody comes in and they're just being really loud, and it's just really annoying. You don't necessarily want to block them. That's when we have the opportunity to mute them. So you just click on their name badge. You click the mute button, you won't hear them anymore. They won't know you did it. And if you're with a bunch of people, everybody has to do it, okay? Because when you mute somebody, you're only muting them for yourself. Your friends will still be able to hear them, okay? Now, the last one, personal space bubble. Now, this one is really important for people. Give me emojis if you cannot breathe, if you have claustrophobia. Who experiences claustrophobia? If you can't breathe when you're in tight spaces, you know how Diamond and I feel sometimes in Altspace. So we come into a place and there's lots of avatars and everybody's moving around and it just can be hard to breathe. That's what the personal space bubble is all about. So on your circle menu down at about 4 or 5 o'clock, depending on the device you're in, they've changed it closer to 3 now, probably depending on, it's a white icon, and when you click it, it becomes blue with white dashes. That means it's on. When your space bubble is off, an avatar can rest right on top of you. When it's on, when they come close to you, they will literally disappear from your view. So it just gives you a little bit of extra help in the breathing department, okay? Now we just have that little extra space around us. Okay, I desperately need your help because I always talk a lot. And in the next 4 minutes, I have to get through a lot of information and I really need your help. I need you, instead of using emojis, I need you to nod your heads. Just as I'm giving you instructions, I want you to follow along. And I know you're following along if you're nodding your heads, okay? So now, our circle menu down to the bottom left, when we click that, it accesses our Altspace menu. I want everybody to look around and notice how close you are standing to people. Now what I want you to notice that go ahead and open up that circle menu And what happens is that menu doesn't bother a single person around you, okay? They don't see it open, and you're the only one that sees what you're looking at, okay? So that's your own menu. Now, what I want all of you to do is along the bottom, I want you to go to the tab that says Discover, the menu option along the bottom that says Discover. And I want you to see that there's a row of featured hub spaces. I want you to take your controller and move over, and as you go over the spaces, it tells you the name of the spaces. I want you to find Campfire. It's autumn colors with round trees. Click on Campfire and notice the top third of the page. Now change the information about the campfire, and one of the options you have is to enter. Okay, nod your heads if you guys are all following along with me. Okay, now I want you to go back along featured hub spaces. This time I want you to click on the info zone. Now the top third becomes information about the info zone. And again, you'll notice that there's an enter button. Here's the deal. We love it when you come back to Altspace 101. I love it when people come back and they've been here for, okay, you guys, I'm being told that my voice is garbly. Okay, remember I told you voices get garbly? Can you guys give me emojis if my voice is garbly for you? And what I'm going to do is show you what re-entering can do. So I'm going to the Altspace menu. I'm going to settings.
And she'll be right here.
And 12. I should have asked you to count along with me, but I got to 13 or 14. It took me a little bit of extra time today, but notice where I landed on a spawn point, and I'm back. Now give me emojis if my voice sounds better now. Does that sound, is it better for you guys? Awesome. Okay, so let's go back to our menus, and I wanted to go on Discovered. I want you to know that we love it when you come back to 101s. After you've been to a 101, please go into the info zone. Go back there and just walk through, because they're talking about the same things we are here. And maybe we missed something. Maybe I missed saying something or said it in a different way. And then you'll it will just help you learn Altspace a little bit better. Okay, so I really want you to go back there. Okay, back to the menus along the bottom. This time I want you to pick the one that says events. Okay, and as soon as you've clicked on events, I want everybody to click on all along the top. And once you've clicked on all, I want you to notice that there is events that have a red dot and say live. Okay, there's 5 of them on the first page, and notice there's an arrow underneath. You could scroll through events for this weekend, next week, next month. You could scroll through lots of events, but notice the first 5 on there have a red dot and live. They're happening now. Altspace 101, you're in one of those events. The other event is actually an event that I wanted to highlight today that hasn't started yet. It's called News and Updates, and it's at the top of the next hour. Okay, so notice when you put your controller over news and updates, there's 2 options, info and interested. I want to tell you that when you come to an event in your menu, no matter how far ahead it is, if you click interested, what will happen is 1 hour before the event, you're going to get an email reminder saying that there was an event in Altspace that like 3 weeks ago you thought you might be interested in attending, and it's going to start in 1 hour. So hopefully the reminders in your email help you to not miss events that you thought you would enjoy. Okay, now I want you to notice in the top right hand corner it says create event. I would love to be able to go through this with you, but we don't have time. So what I want you to do is when you click that create events, you'll notice another window popped up, and it has 6 categories. So remember I told you I want you to go back to the info zone. When you go back there, I want you to go to the very back far right hand corner. And every one of these 6 categories is displayed there. And you could create all kinds of events underneath each category. So you could do a watch party, a dance party, you can play games, all quiz, Jackbox, you could do holograms, you could do a talk show or a podcast, a presentation. So you could decide what kind of event you want to do, and they're all displayed in the 101, in the info zone. And then what you could do is walk across the hall in the info zone, and it will walk you through step by step how to create your very own event right in your headset for people to attend. Okay, so please go back to the info zone and check that out. Now, I want to do two other things that I don't have slides for. So I want everybody to, you still have your circle menu with the white triangle open. I want you to note, click on settings along the bottom, and I want you to notice along the left-hand side, there's a vertical menu. Make sure you're sitting on general, and the first two options on that page is what I'm talking about. The first one, participate in early access program, and enable worlds beta are both white, and I want you to change both of them to blue. And if you're changing the first one, sometimes it'll actually do a quick re-enter for you guys when you turn on the participate. So just notice that sometimes, yeah, you'll just re-enter. So I'm just going to give it a couple seconds for people to come back. Now, when you enable worlds beta, a couple of seconds after you do that, down along the bottom, you see a new menu option, and it's called Worlds. And I want everybody to click on Worlds. And so new menu option says Worlds. Click on Worlds. And then along the top, there's a tab that says Popular. I want you to know that every single time at least one person is in a world, it'll show up on Popular. Okay, so if you're ever bored in Altspace and you want something to do, just come on into Worlds, click on Popular, and start doing what some of us love to do, go world hopping. Just go from one world to another. Maybe there's people in there that you get to meet. Maybe you just want to see what's going on, okay? So it's a great, it's a fun thing to do. Okay, so we have literally got to the end of our things. I've tried to leave us 5 minutes for a Q&A, but I'm a talker and that doesn't always happen. Now, down along the bottom in 3, 2, 1, there you go. There's a raise hand button. Remember I told you we have a different way of asking questions. Anybody that has a question, go ahead and raise your hand. What I'm going to do is I'm going to amplify your voice. You can unmute yourself and just know that there's cameras looking at you guys. Okay, so if you, I'm going to amplify Angry Pick right now. You can unmute yourself. Can we help you with something? Angry Pickle. Sorry, Angry Pickle, did you have a question? There you go.
No, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. So that's no problem. So that's what the raise hand button does. When you click it, it joins the queue and it lets me know that you want to ask a question. So is there anybody else that has a question? Okay, since you guys don't, I'm going to give you a bonus tip, okay? I'm going to quickly give you two of them. Altspace has a website, altvr.com. If you go to altvr.com and log in as a user, you get to do a couple of things you don't get to do in your headset. The first one is if you go under the menu Other, you can pick Worlds. And there's a search tool there, okay? So you could search for names like ocean or water or Star Trek or beach or whatever you want, keywords, and it will bring up worlds that are associated with those keywords. And right on the website, you can click info and favorite them so that when you come in your headset, you will see them in your favorites menu. And when we go flying, I'm going to show you that. The second one is if you go to the one that says Friends, under Friends, there's an option on the website that says Messages. Every single time that you see send a message or somebody sends you a message, you will be able to see it on the website. Okay, so if somebody sends you, for instance, a link to something or whatever, you could go on the website and check that. Okay, you are, oh, who did I just, Olo, you're going to be our very last question for today. So Olo, what, you can unmute yourself. What's your question?
Hi there, can you hear me?
Absolutely.
First of all, I just want to say this is absolutely fantastic. And
oh, so glad you like it.
My question is, when you create an event, is there a way to record that event and then for people to go back into the recorded event and be in that event while it's playing back at a different time?
Okay, that's a great question. I think the extra part of your question to be back in the event, that adds a complexity that I'm not going to talk about. Let me say this, I'm not exactly sure what you envision with that part, but let me talk about recording. You guys give me emojis if you guys are okay with us recording today. Are you guys all okay with us recording today? Okay. Okay, you guys are going to be in a movie. How cool is that, right? Okay, so Altspace typically does not record their tutorials. People that host events in Altspace get to decide for themselves whether an event is recorded or not. And so sometimes they do, and they'll record it and they'll throw it up on their YouTube channel or whatever. And when you host an event, you have every right to do that. But it is not, it's something that you bring into the space. So we have camera bots in here today, and those camera bots are all using their own tools. They're not using a tool inside Altspace. They're all using their own tools for videotaping. And can I tell you, down the road sometime, there's going to be some tutorials for videotaping. I hope that comes sometime in the next 3 or 4 months. But right now, you have the right to do it. You just have to bring in your own tools, okay? And because I talked so long, and we're going to go flying next. Angry, did you do it on purpose now, or was it an accident again?
No, I have a legitimate question.
Okay, cool. You're going to be our very last question, and then we're going flying. Okay.
Oh, cool. I'm trying to make my own world with video.
Okay, can I just tell you, I'm going to stop you right there.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop you right there because I'm going to say, number one, the answer is probably too long to answer right now. And number two, I probably am not the person who knows the answer to what you're about to ask. When it comes to events and videotaping, etc. This is what I'm going to tell you, all of you. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, go into the calendar for Tuesdays and Wednesdays and look for World Showcase Tours. So after 101 on Tuesday and after 101 on Wednesday, there's a 1-hour event where you can go around and people will, you'll go world hopping, but the world builders will be in events where you can ask questions. So that's really helpful to talk to the people who actually built worlds, okay? Okay, so I hope that answers your question a little bit. And they'll, if you're interested in building worlds, go to those showcase worlds and you'll find all sorts of information about that. Okay, so I know I'm a couple minutes over. I just want to say, you guys, these hearts are for you. You guys, we've had lots of people in the room today and you have all been awesome. Okay, so if you guys don't mind, I just want to take a quick picture. Everybody throw up emojis. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to talk about, so everybody, the people in the front stand still, everybody else kind of move so I can see you a little bit. And then I'm going to take your picture. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to talk about what we're going to do next. Okay. We cannot fly in this space. So we have to go to another world to be able to fly. So, and there's different ways to get into different worlds. So the first way we're going to use, keep going. Okay, you guys have got the picture. That's awesome. Thank you very much. The first way we're going to do is if you open up your Altspace menu and then go to worlds and notice that there was a tab we didn't talk about it. It's called featured. And I want everybody to go to that featured world. And I want you to scroll to the third page and you're going to find a world that is called Enchanted Meadow. And when you find Enchanted Meadow, what you're going to do is you're going to click enter. And it's going to take you, that's one way that you can get to the world is by just clicking enter on a featured world and it will take you there, okay? So everybody click enter on that world and we're going to meet you over there, okay? Diamond and Ariel, can you make sure that everybody... Thank you so much. That I really appreciate it. Okay, thank you. And let me just get myself there. Okay. Ooh, Black Rock City got onto featured worlds. Awesome.
Okay. So here we go. So I'm going to help, and Ariel's going to help you all get there. And so we're going to go open up your menu. And we're going to go to events.
Can you please?
No, actually, we're going to worlds. Featured worlds. Is everybody on featured worlds?
Worlds. No.
Go to page 3.
Nope.
Can you go to the portal?
And it's called Enchanted Meadow. And if that fails, you can click on this blue circle right here.
Oh, you stole me. Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, sweetie.
No,
I'm sorry.
she's not doing